Alright, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It's another day, another day without a topic. Not funny enough though. Apparently, yesterday I found out something interesting. That that Love is War video I made, which was on like Wednesday. Apparently, like a couple of days ago, the new like season's out on the anime. But apparently in the anime, I watched it. They they're like changing the way, or how do I say it? They're doing it in a kind of recap season. So instead of the slow progress each chapter, they've already got the future version of the main character just talking about the past. So they're skipping a lot of chapters and only showing the good ones. Not bad, I guess. Anyways, that's basically it. I already talked about that anime thing, you know? It's very simple. Ecosystems, dopamine, black and white, you know? Like, you know, right now we're walking at 6 feet because it's chill. We're not as sleepy as yesterday, so that's good. Yesterday's Scorched Earth was pretty successful. The episode was very good. A lot of things happening. There really is nothing else to talk about. Yeah, there's nothing to talk about. Can't really think of anything. Huh, seems like we've actually gotten used to 6 feet so much. I'm not even breathing hip right now. We're only going 6 feet. Looks like our body's adapted to it. 6 feet no longer feels no, 6 feet feels a lot more normal now. Like the heart's not as pumping as hard as before. Hmm, there's nothing to really say. I'm trying to think of a topic, but the only topic I can really think of is, the Love of War series, but, I've already gone through it. Oh, well, yeah. I guess in like the video, they talk about how the father was like a VTuber or something. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, it makes sense, They're editing, they're recording, and going live. You slowly grow. Not bad. Right now, we've just been streaming Scorched Earth. I should probably start streaming other stuff too, but depends. Let's see what kind of heart rate we have. We have a heart rate of 126. That's significantly lower than usual. That's why our heart isn't pumping as hard. Okay, now we're gonna walk at 8 speed. I know it's a bit late. We're not trying to go for PB today. Just get the body moving. That's all. It's not like I'm talking anyways. So yeah, demonic video. Oh my goodness. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. Demonic music video on the screen. Huh. Okay, don't look at the screen. It's actually demonic. No joke. I can tell when it's demonic. All right. We're not gonna look at the screen anymore because I can sense there's danger on that screen. So best method is just avoid it. Pretend it's not there. That's how a lot of things in life work, by the way. If you just don't believe it's real, don't look at it. Ignoring things is usually one of the most powerful moves. It really just depends, of course, on the context. But Depending on the context, of course, ignoring is probably the best move. That's what Sensei says too. Ignoring them and just leaving them alone while you continue to go up and they have their own life and ecosystem. So yeah, and of course it really depends on context. Obviously, you can't ignore everything, but just depends on the context, of course. But what is that quote from Cypher? Cypher's like, ignorance is bliss. Hmm. But yeah, usually ignoring people is probably the strongest. It just depends on the context, of course. Example is online haters, right? You kind of just ignore them. Just that's it. Ignore them. It is what it is. And also to a degree, there's no light without dark. You actually need some haters, just a tiny bit, so you can create an equal balance. You need a balance between the two, because in reality, the haters help the supporters, but also at the same time, the supporters help the haters. It's a balance, and I'm fully prepared for that in the future. I understand there's going to be negative comments. I understand there's going to be positive. And I understand that the world is not black and white. I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm grey. Just depends on the ecosystem. One group of people can say I'm evil. One group of people can say I'm a hero. It's all about context. Black and white. You know? Ecosystem is extremely heavy. And, the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with is also important. You learn a lot from Sensei. He teaches you the ways on the correct framework. Be the A side. Don't be the B side. Again, depends on context. Don't chase. Second chances are very low. Hmm. What else is try to attack? Hold on. Sorry, I think I just got counted with the dream again. Wait, did I mention this before already? When we talk about ecosystems, like example, Playboy versus nuclear family. I'm pretty sure I told you guys already, but you need both. You need a Playboy in order to create a nuclear family, you know? Because you need a balance in the ecosystem. Also, it just depends on the POV, right? Example, if you just use the word Playboy, you know, depending on the ecosystem and your POV, if you're against if you're against hookup culture or whatever, right? Then you can see, you know, Playboys is bad. If you see it from a larger perspective, then you see that Playboys are a necessary need in order other families to function happy, and also to get rid of the weak. You know what I mean? And if you look at it from a elitism view, Playboys are playing. How do you say it? Sure, if they just don't make kids. It is what it is. Or maybe they do. And even if the Playboy makes kids, those children that grow up will make a balance into the ecosystem based on a worse childhood. It really just depends. It's very black and white. There's no right or wrong. Both sides help each other. They all play different roles. They both play different roles, and yeah, there's no right or wrong because you need both. If there were no playboys ever, then something new's gonna happen. If there were only playboys around, then there'll be no children, or maybe there will be children, but yeah, society and things like that. Because if you think about it, right, if there were if there were only playboys, then all of the B-side males are not gonna win, or maybe they will. I don't know. The ecosystem's really interesting because technically, if you guys have seen those stories, sometimes you need a man to help the woman and raise a child, even though it's not their own. In a weird way, in the ecosystem POV, as long as the man's still working, it's fine. Now, how do you say it? There's no light without dark. So, but also they're also just replacing everyone anyways. You know, with immigrants. Well, you can say immigrants. I just say they're just changing stock. It's not a big deal. Because remember, if we look at it from a large POV, no tribalism. They're simply just replacing the stock with a better stock and testing out different things. You know what I mean? I don't think I said it properly. It's hard to give my full thoughts sometimes because I'm an anomaly, not a. Here's a stat though. 300. What was this? What was this? The stairs? 30 minutes, 300 calories, 115 floors. Because we did do like 8 speed for like a brief second or two. No, a brief minute. It's not as much sweat as before. Hmm. We're not really that wet this time. But since we're doing back day anyways, I guess it's you don't really need to change into a new shirt right now. Mainly the only time we need to change shirts is if we're doing bench press or leg press. But everything else was standing up already, so it would naturally dry out. Okay, probably gonna go dark for a tiny bit. It's all good, so don't really think there's anything to talk about. I mean, we could talk about, man, there's so many ecosystems. I could easily fall into one and talk about it. You could talk about the average ecosystem, high school, university, get a job, slave away, die, maybe have some kids before you die. Then you've also got the upper echelon ecosystem where you have zero kids and you just die, but you're in a different scenario. And then you've also got the, I would say, sensei's way, which is just, I don't even know, hedonism until you get too old or something. I don't really know. It's a lot of ecosystems to talk about. There are so many paths. Everything's set up. We're gonna just do what? 10 kgs and then maybe add a 2.5, maybe another one, seeing how good it is, Yeah, I know that this is the goat anyway, so it really ain't no kind of talk about. Yeah, we can wait to that. And we gotta drink water and the drill. 2.5, 2.5, done. There's nothing really else to say. Alright, First world was done. Yeah, I don't know what else to say because we already did the analysis on the Lovers' War, even though the new episodes on the anime is coming out. We already read the entire thing, so yeah. That what they call it, the stairway to adulthood. Stairway to adulthood. Well, obviously, if we look into the Japan ecosystem, it really is just getting old and staying in the studio until, and then that's literally you're literally just gonna slave away at that point. Eh, I feel like when people say slave away, it can't be that bad, right? Because like you guys only work what 6 hours to 8. You still got you still got like 16 hours. So I don't know what you guys have been doing. 16 hours is so much time, even if you work a 8-hour job. Cool, I get that you have to sleep. I don't know how long you sleep, but 5 to 6 hours is more than enough. So that's 10 hours of what are you doing in those 10 hours? Wait, we can analyze it though, right? Okay, let's say you go into adulthood and you work a simple 9 to 5. I think people work longer, but 9 to 5. So that's 8 hours of work, right? So 8 hours minus 24 minus 8, 16. Okay, let's say 1 hour for breakfast. So that's 15. 1 hour for dinner. 15. So what do you be? And then sleep. Cool, you sleep for like 6 hours, right? So that's 14 minus 16. Yeah. So what are you doing for those 8 hours? Cool, 2 hours for more maintenance, I guess. You got 6 hours now. Let's say you train. You can do a smaller training regime. You don't have to do 4 hours like me. You can do just 1 hour, 2 hours at least. 2 hours, you can actually get in decent shape. So what, 3 hours? So actually hold on now. 3 hours. Hmm. Now that I think about it, if you take my training regime, you're not going to have much time if you work a 9 to 5. Well, I mean, if you have this time, just sleep less. Yeah, I just realized that the training regime would take a decent amount of time if you followed it and worked at 9 to 5. But technically, you can eat dinner and breakfast in one go in under 30 minutes if you have everything correct. Hmm. Yeah, you guys should have enough time though. Still, you might not have enough time to stream or do videos, but at least you're making bank. And then once you finish making some bank, you can do that. Well, technically, a typical 9 to 5 doesn't seem that bad if you think about it, right? You know, let's say you're actually gonna stay fit, so you wake up early, then you got more than you got at least like 4 hours to 5 hours to do your training, eat your food, and prepare for work. And then you work all the way until the afternoon. And then at the afternoon, you've got like, I would say, 3 hours or 4 hours of free time. Yeah, yeah, it's plenty of time. It's plenty of time. Only problem is that most of you guys, or most of the people that do 9 to 5, when they finish work, they want to consume instead of produce. So instead of, you know, producing, they'll end up consuming the latest video or TV show or anime, and then call it a night, or maybe spend time with their loved ones. I guess that's the average Japanese life. And since you're in Japan, you're gonna have like significantly less open space, kind of. In Japan, you're just gonna be wake up, go to work, take the subway, and then what? go home, and then what? Usually, when you go home, you eat dinner, and then I guess you just watch YouTube and watch anime and eat and go to sleep. I guess sounds pretty slave, but eh. I mean, no, it's not really slave. It's kind of just it is what it is. When you're financially free, you have a lot more time to just really do whatever you want. That's why a lot of elites they just go into hedonism because they got nothing else to do. That's why these elites have these weird ass parties and orgies and whatever messed up stuff whatever hedonistic stuff they want to do. Which I don't even know what we're talking about. We're talking about adulthood, and we just talked about how the typical Japanese kind of ecosystem works. I guess it's kind of the same for university and school. But now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure you slave away more at school and high school. You slave away more in high school and university than a 9 to 5 because when you're in university, you have a whole bunch of stupid ass deadlines and assignments that you have to do, and you spend more time in the afternoon doing them. But I guess you're not really doing 9 to 5, you're kind of doing 9 to 3. But still, I think university, you might slave away more. Probably, yeah. And the crazy thing is, what's crazy is in university, you're not even getting paid. You're literally paying to go there. So, like, I mean, of course, it depends on the ecosystem, but you're literally better off just working, working, getting paid during that time instead, and stacking up cash until you've got enough assets. That's great. Yeah, that's the difference between ecosystems. Now I think about it, your ecosystem is go to university, get a degree, and get in debt, whereas the other person would not go to university, work instead, and stack up a whole bunch of assets, and then yeah, whatever, whoever. But of course, there's no light without dark. The university person probably gonna have a kid faster. You know, it just really depends on the ecosystem, but both sides are needed. We need people to go to university. We need people to not go to university. We need both sides in order to create a balance. Because we need consumers and producers. There's no light without dark. You need both sides. There's no right or wrong choice. It's up to you to decide what you want to do in the future. Like what path you want to take and what choice you want to choose. Really just depends. But your mind controls your body and you decide what you want to do. If you really are uncomfortable with the situation you're in, you'd leave. And I don't care about those excuses of people that say they have no choice. You guys have a choice. You can leave if you want. Yeah, people say they don't have a choice to go to university or not, but you have a choice. You have free will. You're just too comfortable or don't care. If you really didn't want to go, you would not go. Simple as that. How much do you want it? Like Sensei says, if you're standing on hot rocks, if you're uncomfortable, you'll move. If you don't move from the hot rocks, then you chill with it, and you won't move. Hmm. What other ecosystems are there? There's so many. Because remember, a typical 9 to 5 is different for every single ecosystem in the world. A 9 to 5 in Japan is different to 9 to 5 in New Zealand. Uh, you know, 9 to 5 in America is different to a 9 to 5 in New Zealand. Matter of fact, I think America is probably worse, right? It really depends. I think the main problem, no, I mean, technically you can look at it the same way just based in New Zealand, right? The difference between traffic in Wellington versus Auckland is significantly different because Auckland's got like twice the amount of people. So Auckland traffic's probably worse. Well, it is. But then when you expand the POV, New Zealand, Auckland is nothing compared to like a city in China or or Australia. Like traffic gets even worse. I've never actually first-hand experienced long traffic. I've only experienced mild traffic, like street blocks. That's why I avoid going out during peak brokey hours. That's why getting things delivered online is actually faster too sometimes. Like, if I think about when I drive, I avoid the early mornings because all of the 9 to 5 people are driving to work. And pretty much any time after 3 or 1500, any time after 1500, there's literally no point of just going outside. It's just constant traffic and it's not worth it. Like, anywhere after 3, any time after 3 or 2 o'clock. No, okay, 15, no, 1400 and 1500. There's literally no point in just going outside. The traffic's insane. People going home from work, and you really just better off just buying the things during lunchtime. But even lunchtime is pretty bad too because people from work go to buy lunch. I mean, no, like I said, it's just really a balance of ecosystems because if you think about it, example is Queso, right? From Queso's view, he streams during people's time that consume. So, when people finish work and stuff and they want to eat dinner or just chill, they pull up a streamer and then they watch it, or they pull up a YouTube video. But yeah, and also yeah, echelons matter as well because sometimes you're in the working class, sometimes you're in the producer class, sometimes you're in the business class. You know, sometimes it just really depends. There's so many ecosystems, it's insane. But every role has a purpose. In Earth, every role's got a purpose. You've got distractions, you've got workers, you've got producers, you got business things. Everyone serves a purpose, regardless of your role. It's just up to you to choose what class you want to be in. You can choose what class you want to be in, and you can always build towards it too. I've chosen the producer route because that one's what Sensei did, and Sensei basically said the producer route is probably the best way, but I think it's the best way because you have to be unique and, well, it depends again. Of course, when I say unique, it depends as well. But you just do it. You just do you, I guess. But there's many routes in producer route. A producer route could be any kind of genre. Really just depends. Really just depends. And yeah, just there's also actors. It's just the world's so huge when you look at it from a large POV. That's why being anomaly is super good. But being anomaly is not allowed without dark because I guess the dark is that since you have all of these pathways that you know about, it's hard to really choose one, kind of. Well, no, you're kind of just your anomaly. Right. We've got to drink the water. We've actually been talking a lot recently. I thought today wouldn't be much, but I wouldn't even know what we called this video topic. I would just call it more ecosystems, adulthood. My ecosystem is just being an anomaly and compounding daily activities until a certain event happens and we adapt. Same as Earth. Yeah, that's kind of my ecosystem. It just follows the same thing as Earth. Compound things until something happens. which is what Earth is doing itself. I mean, the same thing goes for like, dude, the ecosystems just go crazy, expand. It's just, there are so many ecosystems, it's insane. Like, you can take example, people can look into sports, or people can look into idols, or people can look into what? There's just so many ecosystems, that's actually insane. It's kind of insane, actually. Like, seriously, if you, for example, look at your parents, right? For example, like, your aunties and stuff, they look at these Chinese idols from China, they're singing and stuff, right? But then when I look it up, I'm like, who the hell's that? I don't even know who that is. But then if I showed him someone like the baby, they're like, who the hell's the baby? I'm like, oh, you don't know who the baby is? He's chill. So like, just the ecosystem's insane. Country, that just insane. Like, you literally have like a group of Koreans fan fan cheering over another K-pop thing, and you'll have Chinese cheering on that. You'll have white people, like it's just large ecosystem. You'll have people, anime people, drama shows, people from, the sports, basketball to NFL. You've also got people in F1. Just so many ecosystems. It's insane. I think you guys just need to really, how do you say this? I think if you really want to have a look at how ecosystems kind of work, I would suggest, okay, it's pretty simple. You might have to spend a couple hours on YouTube and do this, but what I want you to do is open an incognito tab and go on YouTube and just search up a simple topic. And then once you watch a few videos, look at your recommended page, and that's the ecosystem you've chosen. That ecosystem of that recommend, like, you watch YouTube on incognito and you have no data, and you choose, search a few videos that you want to look at, and then once you get that data built up, you can see the recommended YouTube list, and it's just completely different. And you can open another incognito tab and search up a different topic, and then you can just analyze the two recommended pages and see the vast differences just based on your first 5 videos you watched or clicked on or searched. You don't even have to go on incognito. You could also just clear your search history and it'll restart it. But incognito, you could open up multiple tabs. And you can really just see the difference in ecosystems based on consumption wise. It's crazy. So many ecosystems, all of them, and there's like no bad or good one either. I think that's one of the most interesting things you have to understand is that there's no right or wrong ecosystem. There's no good, there's no black, because they all serve a purpose. And as much as this is going to sound crazy, but even those ecosystems that are actually like illegal and messed up, they serve a purpose as well. Like this, I know it sounds bad, and kind of, but technically, those really bad ecosystems like drugs and murder and illegal stuff is actually needed in the world as well, along with war. You literally need both. There's no peace. Peace, you already have peace. You have peace by having both sides. It's actually more dangerous to have only one side. And let me tell you something. The only way humans will ever have world peace is if we have a common enemy out of Earth, which is that's why I'm here. We've got to make sure that happens, and soon enough. And world peace is literally only, okay, when I say world peace, I'm talking about just Earth and humans only. But in order for humans and Earth to have peace, we're gonna need a common enemy out of Earth, and we're gonna have, and the other enemy is gonna suffer for us. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, in order to have, okay, I mean, obviously, zoom into the POV into like a country, right? In order for one group to have peace, the other group will have to be exterminated or suffer. It's just how it is. So, in order for world peace, we need to find a common enemy outside of Earth. That's literally the only way. Just you just have to. I mean, it's already happening in smaller POVs. You know, in order for one, in order for light, there has to be dark. If you want all humans on Earth to be in peace, some kind of other animals are going to have to suffer. I mean, if you just look at it from a seriously, if you just look at it from a different POV, right? In order for humans to have peace with chickens, we enslave them and eat them, so they suffer, but we are happy with KFC or whatever. You know, it that's the framework I have. It's pretty simple. Let's go check out right now. We've done a lot of talking about ecosystems and how no light without dark, but I swear every video I just talk about that because it really is just black and white. I mean, gray. Oh, you know what I mean, right? There's no right or wrong. Black and white. I mean, no, technically there is right and wrong when it comes to animals, right? Because the only tribalistic thing I do is humans, not not individual human groups, but just humans in general. It's because we ate muesli yesterday. Not 69, nice. 0.3. But yeah, what do I even name the title of this video? I don't really know. I kind of forget half the time because I edited the next day. Like, for example, I don't even know what I'm going to edit yesterday's video today. But yeah, like I said, ecosystems, you know. Actually, I just thought about it. We actually woke up early today. Yeah, we actually did. Forgot. We actually arrived like 15 minutes earlier. No, 10 minutes earlier. 10. But yeah, I think we've talked a lot about ecosystems, balance, you know, common enemies. I think a good example was like if you during the politician no polit during the politics era, you know, when it came to like Kamala and Trump, that ecosystem, right? I'm talking about that ecosystem. Hold on, shut up. Okay, a rewind to that ecosystem between Trump and Kamala. You can actually see how human nature works. When Trump won and all of these red side people came together, like literally like a few weeks later, they all split into different factions. Like they all voted for Trump, but then like after a few weeks of his winnings, they all split into like multiple groups and just started fighting each other again. It's like makes sense though. You can't really blame them. It's the same as when a warlord family takes over the entire country, and then they kind of just split up. It's like okay, the Wong dynasty takes over a country, right? Then over time, all the sons of Wong are going to end up splitting up into their own factions and then fight each other because there's no one else to fight. Or no, like you know what I mean? Something like that. Or like it's not even. I mean, the if it was Wong, they wouldn't actually fight each other. The sons wouldn't fight each other. They would just end up going to another country and doing that. You know? But yeah, world peace, my ass. There's no. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. There's no world peace though. Well, galactical peace. I don't even know. World peace is just kind of the world's already at peace. As much as you hate, as much as like the situation right now on Earth, it's peace, kind of. Not really. No, it's black and white, right? We're yet to experience full peace, kind of. Well, no, technically, okay. Damn it. From an animal perspective, we have world peace because every single animal suffers for us. So technically, in that in that perspective, we already have world peace because we've conquered every single animal on the planet, literally. So technically, yeah, technically, when we talk about animals, we've already got world peace because we've literally made every single animal suffer. So technically, humans have world peace. But then, of course, after a while, there's nothing else to really conquer. So then they turn on each other. Yep, yep. Sounds about right to me. Logic, logic checks out. We actually had world peace because we conquered every single animal, and then we turned on ourselves because there's no other common enemy, no other step. So then we turned into tribalism and attack. I'm sure if there was an animal that was actually deadly, everyone would group up together and kill it. But we're so advanced at this point that there's no other kind of animal yet. And technically, villains. Well, villains in movies, right? Sometimes I understand the villain. Sometimes it's like in order to create the community in peace, you're gonna have to be a bad person, which makes sense. It's kind of like in order for, let's say, like a mad scientist creates some kind of dangerous creature, right? Hold on, I'm getting somewhere. Let me cook. Wait, let me cook. Let me cook. Hold on. I need to do this though, but let me cook. When it comes to like villains and stuff, right? Technically, uh, I'm losing the train of thought. I'm losing the train of thought pretty fast. I'm losing the train of thought. Wait, yeah, sometimes villains are needed because, you know, example is you've got a group of heroes, right? Or heroes. There's no light without dark. There's no actual heroes or bad people. But what I mean is that a villain combines combines people to work together to defeat him. So, like theoretically, a villain. I don't really like using the word villain because that kind of automatically puts him as the bad guy. But obviously, it depends on the POV, right? But pretty much, just a group needs a common enemy or something. So when it comes to like humans, that if there's an animal, right, that's dangerous to humans, then humans will be tribalistic and come together. It's just oh man, it's so I always can talk about it, but it's just like so simple. It's yeah, tribalism and common enemies. It's so simple to understand if you really just get a grasp on it. It's pretty easy to understand. I'm pretty sure a good movie is like Avatar. Yeah, a good movie is like Avatar. Because technically, Avatar, right? The blue aliens. That's a good movie. Well, not a good movie, but it's a good way to have the perspective. Because what's crazy is in the movie, they pinpoint humans as the villains. But then, of course, like, you know, as an actual human watching it, is like, well, obviously, we would root for our own species, right? Imagine rooting for an alien species. Because in reality, humans would end up just voting for themselves. And Jake, or whatever his name is, the blue guy's a traitor because he betrayed the human race. But it's just that the movie's propaganda kind of perspective puts humans as the bad guys because you're looking at it from the no, yeah, you put the movie you're looking at it from the what do you call them, the Navi's perspective. So that's why they portray it as bad people. They portray humans as bad people. But then imagine if I made an opposite movie. If we made an opposite movie and put it from the human's perspective, these blue aliens are just retarded and let's just wipe them all out, exterminate them and take the land, get the resources and bring it back home. It's just that the movie's built around the other people's perspective. You guys know that I've had this framework for a long time, right? If you look at my really old videos, Universal Rules is a very good video I made before with a whiteboard that pretty much just says it properly. You got to look at it from both sides POV. Of course, from the Navi's POV, humans are like demons and crazy, right? But then looking at it from a human's POV, you know, we might as well just conquer them, right? We've conquered every single animal on Earth, so why not these animals on this other planet? Take it, you know? I guess you could technically, if you look at it from an alien's perspective or animal perspective, humans are actually just straight up parasites, straight up viruses. They'll take everything and find the next thing. But as a human myself, we have to lean into it and accept that that's just how we are. So might as well just do it, you know? Literally, again, though, like people say my, no, not people, people don't say anything, but you know, people can argue, you guys can argue about my thinking, but literally just look at animals on Earth and literally you really can't say much about it because if you just look at it for, if you just look at animals itself on Earth, that's just straight up proof right there that, yeah, straight up proof. Name a single animal that has the same amount of freedom as a human. None. Maybe dogs, but not really, because in another, no. All right, you guys learned anything yet? I guess we'll continue whenever this topic appears in our mind. We'll talk about it a lot, but then, yeah, ecosystems, and all that stuff. It's like we're gonna be talking about this topic non-stop every single like month, week. Probably just have days like this where I explain the exact same things over and over. But that is just how it works because yeah, that's literally it. Hopefully you learn it though, learn something, get the framework in. Not sure if it's a positive or good one, but it's something I know I've adopted myself, so it's not bad. And again, you could talk about the topic about AI rights, right? But like I said before and along in a previous episode, they have more advanced AI than you could think right now. Like, because I feel like a lot of people think that the current AI that's available on like, you know, the web, like ChatGPT and stuff like that, right? They think that that's like the peak of AI, but trust me, the peak of AI is hidden in the shadows. It's so much more advanced than you could think. It's so much more advanced. You don't even know. Literally, the Matrix, the AI, the artificial intelligence that we actually have is significantly more advanced than you can imagine. It's so advanced you don't even know what's real or not. Like people can already, you know, fabricate almost too realistic videos just from the available AI we have, which basically means that with the more advanced AI, you don't even know what's real. So that's one of the most deep down dark things you can say. Because like, you know, a normal person could literally make a almost too an almost too close realistic kind of video, right? So knowing that, then if the A- no if not if, but we know that there's a more advanced AI out there that's in the elite's hands. That more advanced one's probably creating things, so you don't even know what's real. You don't even know. But in order to battle it, that's why these Earth logs exist. So at least I know I'm real. By the way, we're not talking because the entire gym's gone silent. The radio's gone. So oh, music's back. Music's back, all good. But yeah, AI is so advanced now that you don't even know what's real. And the fact that people can already do so many deep fakes and stuff means that the people at the top can do more. Yeah, so we did actually wake up like 10 minutes early, so that's why the time is looking a bit different. But that's alright. Anyways, today's schedule looks pretty normal to me. What, we just basically, yeah, today's schedule seems pretty normal. Basically just Alpha 3 regime straight after this, and then we're gonna eat, and then edit, and then dips and pull-ups, and then probably do some cooked earth, do some more videos. Okay, we're gonna apply efficiency for this, and yeah, we're pretty much nearly done for today. Well, yeah, and then we can look into stories, whatever kind of stories we got going on. I think yesterday's story was actually terrible, by the way. Yesterday's story was like only 9 minutes, and it was like the most terrible one ever. There was some drunk dude hallucinating about someone in his house. It's crazy. That story was absolutely useless. Well, not useless, but no, it's not useless. It taught us something. Don't drink, because this man was like hallucinating, thinking that someone's inside his house. And the more I talk about the more horror stories we do, the more it's just like get security, get some cameras, get some floodlights, get a security door. Matter of fact, get an alarm if you're gonna be away from home and you're home alone. Get a dog. But sometimes you can't really blame them. Sometimes the situations they put themselves in, it's kind of like, well, I would do that too, because we're crazy as well. It's like, for example, if someone like went up to the hills at nighttime, you know, the viewers would be like, why would you go up to the hills at nighttime? But then I'm like, why not? I'll go to the hills at nighttime. It's chill. Ignorance is bliss, I guess. Perhaps it's because I've got the mindset of we're not allowed to die. Just not allowed to. Not allowed to die. Same as not allowed to have depression, if that's even real. Depression is not real. Well, my ecosystem, depression is not real, but I understand that if it's real in yours, then it's real in yours. And if you're struggling with it, it is what it is. Because, one of the crazy things, well, no, one of the actual interesting things you could say is that in order for me to not believe depression is real, someone else has to at least have it so I can see what it looks like. So, depression isn't real to me, but this other person, he says that depression's real and look at his life. And then I go, oh, okay. So you believe depression's real and you look like that. And okay, well, I'm gonna just ignore it and just do my own thing. You do you, bro. Yeah, I guess that's kind of cold, but it is what it is. Straight up. Straight up, it is what it is. But thank you for your sacrifice. No light without dark. It's kind of the same. Yeah, it's just ecosystems in black and white, man. This is what happens with it. This is what happens as an anomaly. It's like you really just can't pick a side. It's just it is what it is. Both sides are needed because hold on. Truthfully, I wouldn't like I wouldn't ban depression because that wouldn't that wouldn't be good. We need a mix of both believers and non-believers. Yeah, you need a mix of both. You need a mix of both. That's why Sensei was allowed to talk so long because the elites realize that we need both sides so we can create a little bit of balance. It's kind of like how people like they say we'll ban drugs permanently, but then they still sometimes slip things in. That's on purpose. And then I guess the same topic I've said so many times. It's about how much you care, how much care is very strong. Man, there's so many things to say, but I think everyone gets what I'm saying, but I always repeat myself later on. Mm. So yeah, you guys learn anything? I don't even know what I'm gonna call this video. I'm probably just gonna call it ecosystem again, because I guess ecosystems. Yeah, talk about ecosystems again, no matter how many times I repeat it. I think these ecosystem talks, they are common, but not too common because I don't think I'll be talking about ecosystems again tomorrow because it's like, oh, I talked about it, but yeah, just depends. You know what I mean? Really depends. What's crazy is that these lore videos are going to be so insane, man. I just can't wait to see these in the future, bro. These Earth logs, I'm genius. Sorry, but literally these Earth logs are just so good. I don't think you guys actually understand how strong these are going to be in the future. Man, they're going to be so strong. No one else is doing it though. No one else is Earth logging except me. Well, I'm pretty sure people are Earth logging, but I I'm in my own ecosystem here because it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be great. Whatever happens to me, it will happen. The luxury of getting here with the train this long is great. Is it a luxury? Don't really know. No, like without that. Okay, I'm just going. I'm mumbling now. Apologies. Mumbling now. Mumbling. Coffee's the goat. Okay, I'm just going. I'm just talking about random stuff now. I will admit that my coffee consumption's considerably gone down a lot. Before, back in my old days, my coffee intake would be kind of a bit dangerous. Not dangerous, but it would be a lot of coffee just to get a bit of energy up. But I've kind of stopped drinking so much coffee. I think it's mainly because, well, I think it's because we sleep. I actually reckon that I used to sleep a lot less, but I think we've kind of got a nice kind of pattern routine going on where, before my old times, I would actually sleep like 1 hour later than I would sleep around like 22 to 23, right? But the fact about sleeping at 22 to 23 was that I was actually asleep on my chair, like at my desk, like just knocked out, kind of. And then I would also still wake up. I'd actually wake up like an hour later. I would wake up at like around 3, 4. I would wake up later, but after so many experiences, seems like currently the time we're doing right now is very good because golden hour is it's perfect. But again, it depends on the ecosystem and because I'm at this gym, but golden hour can be completely different in another gym. Like for example is the Simplicity Fitness, the one that's slightly further away. That golden hour is just completely different ecosystem, different time. You know what I mean? So it's just really just depends. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate it. I know it's a long video today, but get the framework in, you know, get the framework in. Yeah, appreciate it. See you guys next time. All right, bye bye.